All artists want to fund their careers and stay independent at the same time, but with low money, no planning, and no business at all, this makes this a bit difficult to handle or undertake. Problem is, nobody's really putting these issues in front of the creatives so they really understand, which is why you feel like it's a bit impossible to handle the task at hand. However, in your position, this is a simple fix to stop losing funding while you're getting your music career off the ground. So we're going to talk about these issues and put them into perspective so you really get it, coming up right here on the Music Money Makeover Show. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Music Money Makeover Show. My name is Casey Graham. Let's hop right in. So the first thing we got to address is that you have no business plan. In the beginning, things start slow. So while you have time, cultivate a plan that consists of average yearly revenue that you'd like to make within 3 years. Okay, I'm giving you a short window of 3 years, not a long time, but be realistic. How many releases do you want to have in 3 years? And what type of hired help will you need to achieve this in the 3-year time span? Lastly, it would be hard to guess how much money it would take to get there because all artists are different, but you still need a ballpark figure on what it would take to get you going. And I'm just going to start you at $12,000 a year. This is cash that you have saved up, or this is money that you're going to spend throughout the year to help fund your career. It's roughly $1,000 a month. Trust me, this money will run through your hands faster than you can really think to count it, right? So if you have a plan just of where these are big goals that you have at stake here that you want to achieve. And I'm not even going to give you 5. I'm going to give you 3 years. This ultimately gives you enough to get 3 projects out. Okay. And then you can fund those projects with the money and some other things that we're going to talk about in a minute. But you also probably don't have this, and we got to put this in place. No job. Because I know a lot of people, I'm not just saying everybody doesn't have a job. I'm just saying a lot of people don't have a job and they're living that broke artist like syndrome thing, right? And we don't want that. So you don't have to be a broke artist, and this is true. You can get a job. In fact, an artist with a job is commendable, so you don't look like you're begging for a ticket to get in. And you'll need this job to start saving some funds for the investment to your project. I get that a lot of times for creative work and a job is not the best thing because you get caught up in that life. But if you're in your 20s, especially early 20s, man, do that. So you're not out here making decisions based on hunger and right now, because that happens a lot. And I know a lot of people in their 20s are going to just do that anyway. They're going to take it because it's a check and they're like, oh, this is my chance to get in. But when you make decisions based off being hungry, it ends up being a decision that you really didn't want to make, and you're in a position that you really don't want to be in. So that job is going to satisfy more than just saving, but actually keeping you out of making some bad decisions so that you're not hungry. Now, next. No savings plan. If you got a job, then you need a plan to save some funds, period. All right. Don't just work that job and then pocket all the cash, because we got to invest something here. Now, in order to get things up to speed, you'll want to maintain savings of about $1,000 per month. That's really what I'm pushing here. But if you can only do half of that, which is $500, that's fine as well. And at least save something over $200 a month if you can for this music. This money will be used to pay for all creative services. That means mixing, beats, engineering, artwork, and then other stuff like, getting stuff registered for copyright, and even setting up your stuff, your PRO accounts and all of that stuff. All right. But we're going to need some cash, and it's not just going to be able to rely on what I'm going to talk about next, which is coming from your business. Now, a lot of you all don't have a business at all. It's just, I got an idea, I got $1 and a dream, and I'm trying to make it happen. But this is where we're going to get some more funding for what we're going to do on our musical endeavors. No business means no credit. In previous videos, I've stated all credit will be used to flip opportunities that yield a quick return, like merchandise and self-touring shows. That's about all it can be used for in your position. So if you have no business set up, we can't get the funding we need for these opportunities. Trust me, you don't want to do this with your personal money. That personal money, as I said in the previous slide, is strictly for creative services, okay? Beats, engineering, mixing, artwork, registrations, things of that nature, right? Paying people to do little side jobs. The other stuff for the merchandise is really where you're going to make your serious money, and that can be funded because it can be flipped. All right. So you're getting all the secrets. Now, no monthly spending plan. Now that we got money saved up, we got a little bit of credit. Maybe you got, you set up your business, you got $10,000 in credit if you had some good personal credit. Or if you're in your 20s, they probably gave you $8,000, which is usually the starter right there for some business credit. Depending on how savvy you are and depending on what you know about credit, that's what you start with. Now, no monthly spending plan. The business needs to operate. Okay, so how much do you need to spend monthly to keep your label operating every month? This is called operational expenses. I want you to make a list of all tools and software it will take to run your label, and you'll now have a spending plan or operational budget that you can edit, okay, and adjust to make your business operate more efficiently. Once you begin to see all of the monthly expenses that you have, whether it's your TuneCore account, and you can break that yearly fee up into monthly costs, so you set aside money, right? So you're not, out here looking crazy when the bill comes due on the next year. It could be apps that you have. It could be software that you're paying for a monthly fee for, from Waves to CapCut to whatever you're doing to get your music out there. Make a list of everything that you pay for monthly, and that is your monthly spending plan. And you can begin to adjust and say, I don't need this, I do need this, let's add to it. Let's see if we can afford to buy some more software with monthly subscriptions and stuff like that. Okay, so we got the savings, we got the credit, we know what we're spending our money on, we got a 3-year plan. Now we can get some stuff going. So make it make sense to me. All right, well, if you know how much you're spending a month to stay open, you have a biz plan to know where you're going, you have business credit to get financing, and a job to stash some clean cash aside, you can then self-fund your career. With all these elements, funding your career becomes calculated instead of making a wild bet. You get what I'm saying? And we really didn't do that much. In this video, I didn't do that much. I just asked you to do a few things to help yourself out here. But I could go to a record label for all of this. Yes, you can. But then they would be paying for everything. Now, because you're in the beginning stages, this makes you dependent early instead of independent like you really want to be. And I know a lot of you all call me and you all reference LaRussell all the time. And LaRussell is just the next person in line, like Currency, but then Currency comes from the lineage of Master P, and then you have all the independents who are doing their thing. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of you all want to be independent. You want to hit that $10,000 threshold to make that money on your own so you can say, man, I really did it. Some of you all want to put out music. You want to make an exit. You get what I'm saying? So it all depends on what you want to do. But I know this for sure, that if you take investment early on, especially when you can't really fund stuff heavily in your 20s, which a lot of people do, you will become dependent. And if you don't want to be dependent, stay independent, take some time, get a job, save up, build a business, and get some credit going. Now, do I need a business to complete this process? If you'd like to grow, yes. Nobody really does any planning when they don't have a business. This is true. So, however, when there are stakes at play, meaning the pressure of the business, then planning starts to work. You get what I'm saying? So I understand your positioning in all this. I understand there's no money. I totally get it. Therefore, if you're an artist, a producer, a new music exec, a songwriter, doesn't make a difference if you want to start your record label or publishing company within 60 days or less without searching all over the internet for the how-tos and searching through the red flags, then I got you covered. We're going to build this thing in 60 days. We're going to start with a strong company foundation, an LLC to be exact. This is going to allow you to get the business credit that we talked about today. And then from there, you can self-fund your career. You'll also learn how to play the game via contract so you don't get lost in the sauce out here or get got like a lot of these artists are. I don't want to see that for you. And then on top of that, you'll be able to collect your domestic and international music, publishing, and record royalties without the middleman taking 15%. Sounds like a win-win to me. All this stuff you see right here in the bottom right-hand corner is included with the course. Click the link below to get started today. But if it's your first time watching the channel, grab the free stuff below, 10 major steps to increase your record label's profits. A free split sheet is included with that download. This is what I wanted to get to. If you plan for success, your growth will be much more focused. You'll begin to possess the skills to run a $1 million cash machine. And finally, you'll stop losing money while investing in your career. I'm not saying that you're not going to need excess funding and extra funding, but when you start to fund this thing yourself and you, let's say maybe you last for that 3-year span of funding it yourself, or at least a 24-month span of funding it for yourself, then when you bring people in, it's not based on a hunger scale. It's I need to make sure the business keeps going and the investors can invest a little bit more with confidence. And you may be getting money that you've never maybe thought you'd ever get from certain sources. You get what I'm saying? Now, if you don't plan at all, you'll probably never grow. The label will be a mess because nothing is organized, and your career more than likely won't see the light of day, even if the music is good, okay? It just is what it is. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I mean, you've heard it over and over again. You start how you finish. It is what it is. So we want to be in a place where you're planning for success. So if self-funding your label is an issue right now for you, at least you now know some of the key steps you need to take to eventually have that multi-million-dollar label, at least $1 million label for yourself that you want to have. All right, music money makers, if you make music, you should always make money. Log on to musicmoneymakeover.com, jump into the 60-day record label course right beneath the video, download the free stuff below, book a call on musicmoneymakeover.com, and I'll see you next time. Peace.